Hello, it is Monday, February 12th, 2024. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Monday crossword, which means today we're going to be solving an early week, relatively gentle, themed crossword. And this early week, relatively gentle, themed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Kathleen Quinn, Quotidiophile, Overfull Hitbox, and, as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the four of them. They're benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. They keep this series going day in, day out. They sustain this channel. I'm very grateful to them for that. So thanks to those four. Thank you to everybody who's a patron of the channel at any level. I really do appreciate it. It really does keep this sustainable for me. And I'm grateful for your contributions. And if you'd like to contribute similarly, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field where you'll find all of the bonus videos available to patrons. And also for benefactors, the Let's Check the Crosses mug, of course. So thanks again to all the patrons. And thanks to you if you've subscribed to the channel on YouTube. That is very helpful. As well as thanks if you comment on videos from time to time, if you like the videos. Those things are all helpful. So I would be appreciative to those who do that as well. And then finally, there's the Daily Solve Discord chat server, which you can join via a description field link. It's a nice friendly chat community over there. So consider checking it out as well. And with that all said, let's get on to today's crossword. This is a Monday-themed puzzle by Jess Schulman and Amy Walker, each of whom has previously constructed one puzzle for the New York Times. It might have been together. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving, see what's in store for us on this hopefully gentle Monday puzzle. Fronts opposite, front and back, front and rear, something like that, probably front and back. Let's look at the downs. Chicken left over, a chicken bone. There we go. There was a very interesting edition of a podcast called Search Engine about why cities, particular New York, have so many chicken bones on the street, and the answer was not what you would have assumed. It was very interesting and good piece of journalistic investigation. Anyway, fronts opposite. Look, it does look like back, doesn't it? To be adjacent to would be to abut something, to be next to it. A musician's conclusion could be a coda, a bit at the end of a piece of music. And a beer barrel is a keg of beer. So a long cylindrical instrument is an oboe, and then get my innuendo in brackets. So the brackets here mean it's not going to be speech that's represented by the answer, but in this case, it could be a sound. In this case, it's going to be an action, a sort of nudge. You nudge someone. Get my innuendo? Nudge, nudge. Although, honestly, I feel as though that trope is so well worn that people might actually say nudge, nudge. But that's not what this clue is indicating in this particular case. Blank You Been Gone, Kelly Clarkson hit. I don't know the song, but it's hard to imagine that it wouldn't be Since You've Been Gone. So let's try that. Mess up as hair. To tousle. Yeah, you could sort of tousle someone's hair, mess it up a bit in a friendly way. Some male deer, stags. There we go. I think that will be right, but let's check the crosses just to be sure. As well as, yes, so X as well as Y, X and Y. Something beyond big is gigantic, I would say. And then a big public argument is a scene, a big scene. Kind of bond in chemistry, an ionic bond. I think this was in the puzzle just yesterday or the day before, a thing that I learned in chemistry class many years ago and mainly remember it existing. An ion bond dealing with ions in some way. Anyway, what gives Scotch an earthy flavor? So peat, you get that earthy, peaty flavor in Scotch from the peat. Okay, baked things that might get people baked. Pot brownies, maybe? That does fit exactly. I wonder if that's been in the crossword before. And here we have currency that replaced the mark and peseta, so that would be the euro, the currency of the Eurozone, a subset of European Union member states. If one got an A+ on something, one aced it as an exam, and blank them pronouns, so they them pronouns, so non-gender specific pronouns, and then that hurts, ouch, straightforward enough. Beech or birch is a tree, and this is an or clue, so bear in mind we're only referring to either beech or birch, not both, so it's not plural, so single tree. Doesn't matter who, it's anybody. And here we have show hosts in brief are MCs or masters of ceremonies. Mideast leaders are emirs, as in those who had an emirate. And actress Jessica Biel, I certainly recognize. And so to keep cool in a pool perhaps could be keep cool in a pool. Not sure. Yeah, I don't see that offhand. What about this one? Close by. Well, that's straightforward. Something close by is near. And to tug hard would be to yank on a rope or whatever else. Exploding stars are, well, it could be novas or novae. I've seen both in the crossword, I'm pretty sure. So let's look at the down and see if we can determine that. Loses traction on the road. I think it's an S, novas, because if you lose traction on the road, you slip. So slips, I think, will be the answer here. Or actually, you know what? It could be skids now that I think about it. But the I is the same. So let's see. Response to the little red hen. Yes, not I. So the little red hen walked around saying, who will help me, I don't know, reap the wheat and gather the eggs. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's a hen. Maybe she didn't gather eggs. I don't know. But she got, oh no, it was for making bread. So it would have just been wheat and I don't remember what else. But anyway, no one wanted to do it. And then when she baked the bread, everyone wanted to help her eat it. Okay, get my innuendo. Oh, it's another one of these. Was that exactly the same phrasing? It was. Get my innuendo. So you might waggle your eyebrows as you wink. Or no, I guess you wouldn't waggle your eyebrows while winking. That would be a bit odd, but you might waggle them while nudging. Anyway, wink, wink looks like the answer here. Okay, so you're making some kind of suggestive joke and really playing it up. EGOT winning actress Davis, Viola Davis. So this is the quadruple achievement of having won an Emmy, a Grammy, and an Oscar and a Tony, which has been apparently achieved by Viola Davis. So well done to her. Contributed to a kitty. If you contributed to a kitty, you put money into the pot you anteed into a poker game or something. So this is skids, not slips, the loses traction on the road. And then if one worked, one toiled, one worked hard. And a surgeon for short, and something to do with operation, I'm not sure. Takes in what someone wrote. Well, that's reads, that's straightforward enough. An OR doc, an operating room doctor, OR doc. Okay, that must be the answer. So here we have dozes off. If one dozes off, one nods off, falls asleep. And a catch-all category would be catch-all category. Other. You could be, on a test, you could have answers A, B, C, and D, and maybe D is other, and then you fill in the specific answer, who knows. Anyway, Midori Blank, first woman to land a triple axel in competition. ITO, I mean, that's certainly a name, and it sounds maybe vaguely familiar in this context, I'm not sure. But let's put it in and see. Riddle. An enigma, a mystery. There we go. An enigma wrapped in a puzzle, wrapped in a mystery. I don't remember which order that goes in, or if those are even the right words. Nor do I remember the source of that phrase. I don't remember anything about it, other than some vague nesting of confusions. Anyway, that's all Blank wrote. That's all she wrote. People often say to sort of when something's been concluded, when maybe a game is over. I don't know really the source of that either. Anyway. Strip of mowed grass. A swath, maybe? What about this? Winter hours in New York City. So this will be a time zone. Often when you see hours or setting, obviously those could mean other things, but they do frequently mean a time zone in a crossword clue context. Anyway, here it'll be Eastern Standard Time as opposed to Eastern Daylight Time. So this probably is a swath. Let's look at this and see. Later, dudes. Oh, peace, you might say. Right, okay. Sort of a bro might say peace to say goodbye. Later, dudes. And take home amount would be your net, your post-tax take-home. It's probably what that's referring to. And then to cover completely would be to enshrine or something, maybe? Enshroud maybe more better than enshrine in terms of covering. Let's just try it and see if I can confirm anything on the crosses. Painter Degas, Edgar Degas is a painter. Message on a candy heart. Love me? That's very... seems like a desperate message for a candy heart. Is that true? Is that on there? No, hug me? Big name. Oh, yeah, that is hug me. Big name in fleecy boots. Ugg is an Ugg boots. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's what it is. Get my innuendo. Cough, cough. So again, playing up your sort of attention-seeking behavior to draw attention to your joke or your inference. What a good joke never gets. It never gets old, I suppose. And membership fees would be your dues. You might pay dues to a membership organization. Hawaiian banquet would be a luau, a feast. And a fairy tale baddie is an ogre. I would say the ogre is, I don't know if I've ever declared this before, but I do think the ogre is the official fairy tale foe of the New York Times crossword. I mean, it certainly is by far the dominant answer to that category of clue, but I don't know if it comes up often enough to be dubbed official. I will say it has candidate status for official fairy tale foe of the New York Times crossword, and if it comes up a fair number more times while I remember that, maybe we'll promote it. Anyway, to chop something off would be to lop it off. Professors' degrees. Professors often have doctorates. They have PhDs in a subject, and a classic pie crust ingredient would be lard. There we go. A shortening from animal, that is animal fat. That's what people tell me anyway, or so I hear, or just so I hear. Yeah, so I hear. That's what people tell me anyway. Undergarment for a dress, a slip. Could be an undergarment for a dress in terms of clothing. And then acorn producers are oak trees, oaks. Frosts as a cake. If one frosts a cake, one ices the cake. And then bridal veil fabric, so a bridal veil might be made out of lace. And a furniture store known for its cafeteria's meatballs. That's IKEA famously. Hey, you, psst, you might say. This looks like it's not part of the theme, but is sort of redolent of the theme. It seems related to the theme, maybe in a minor way, even though it's not officially part of it. Okay, so what is keep cool in a pool, perhaps? Oh, beat the heat. Oh, okay. Interesting. So this is about sort of, I guess that's why it says perhaps. Like this is one way you might be doing this thing, to beat the heat. As they're obviously not literally synonyms of one another. So there we go. I was looking for an action in the pool, but that's not what the answer is. Okay, so to engrave something could be to etch, maybe something into stone, something like that. And something you might clear to improve memory. You might clear cache on your computer to improve memory. I don't quite exactly know how to parse that, but the idea, I suppose, being to just kind of free things up and free up memory on your computer. Anyway, anger leads to blank. Blank leads to suffering. Hate, right, okay. If you'd asked me that cold, I would have maybe guessed fear, but anyway, here's a quote by Yoda from, I assume, The Empire Strikes Back. So there we go. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Seems true. Get my innuendo. Hint, hint. There we go. And commercial lead-in to pen is EpiPen. Medicinal device. And relax, soldier. You might tell a soldier at ease to relax. Moderate gait for a horse would be probably a trot. And younger Obama daughter would be Sasha. Must be the younger between Sasha and Malia. Okay, trails. Paths, there we go. And open-air lobbies in a building could be atria, plural of atrium, but of course, because lobbies is plural, we're saying atria. And finally, menial workers dismissively. So you might dismissively refer to menial workers as peons. That certainly has a pejorative connotation. So there's the dismissive bit. And then something a digital crossword solver doesn't need would be paper, which and I'm exhibiting that truth as we speak, as we solve. So here we go. That was the Monday puzzle. Fairly gentle today, I would say, as promised. And we had a simple theme dealing with gestures or actions you might take in order to encourage somebody to read suggestively into the comment you've just made. And to do so, you might nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hint, hint, or cough, cough. And I feel that honestly with any of the, well, actually, hint, hint. Oh, it's interesting that this one's in brackets because this is actually, these are definitely words you would say. There isn't a non-verbal version of saying hint, hint. Whereas all the rest of these are either non-verbal sounds or physical actions. Interesting. I suppose, yeah, I don't know how to justify that in the context of this specific clue, but I suppose as part of an overall theme, it's referring to kind of actions and sounds you might make to clue somebody in to your innuendo. But yeah, it's slightly odd to me that this one is bracketed. But there we go. Anyway, I think you could maybe look at it a different way, which is that, as I was saying earlier, this is such sort of stereotypical and almost quaint behavior that often people would just say any of these things. So maybe that's part of the joke of the theme as well, that any of these you might simply say nudge, nudge, to really play it up. Anyway, there we go. That was the Monday Crossword by Jess Schulman and Amy Walker in their second construction each. And that's that for the Monday puzzle. That's that for the Monday video. I'll be back tomorrow with the Tuesday edition of the New York Times Crossword. Should also be relatively approachable, relatively gentle. So do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Monday. Take care.